7 of its players aged 22 or under, so they're under enormous pressure in away tonight. Only one full international, the striker Sergeyev. Most of the experienced players who won the championship for CSKA have since moved on to other clubs. Rangers say the Russians played well for the first half of their first game against them, and they know that men like Sergeyev and indeed the number 11 Faizulin will need their full attention. But at the same time, there's no avoiding the fact that the Russians are building for the future without high expectations of this particular night. Our referee is Peter Mikkelsen of Denmark, surely at the age of 32, the youngest on UEFA's list, and incidentally, he referees England's game against Holland in the World Cup at Wembley next Wednesday. Has 2 Danish linesmen to support him. On a night when Rangers just need to go one better than Marseille, playing away on the other side of the channel in Belgium. So away we go, Rangers in the blue. Attack the goal to our left. One would imagine there'll be plenty of attacking too, as Bob hoists it forward towards Durant. Ferguson in there as well. Houstra taking up a central position there for a moment. And the number 4, Mashkarin, with a half clearance, crossed in again by Stephen. Almost getting it through to McCoist. Here's McCall. Early pressure then from Rangers. Ferguson with it. And the throw for Rangers. Waiting for David Robertson to get forwards. Good long throw there, and a good header by Goff, well saved. A question mark against the Russian marking there, as the big defender was able to get almost a free header. Kevin Keegan.
It's a tremendously long throw, Brian, and I think that's what caught them out. I don't think they'll catch him out again with it, but that's gone right to the middle of the penalty area.
Mashkarin shaping up to head that one clear. Durant, this is great pressure early on. McCoist almost in. And CSKA having trouble indeed getting the ball out of their own half. Antonovic getting it forward, Sergeyev the number 10, but Goff will get there before him, back to Andy Goram. Well, there's a bit of nerve for you. Goff hitting it forward again. Robertson hitting it straight to the number 6, Bushmanov. Sergeyev couldn't gather it up. Here's David Mikkelsen. It's a lovely ball for Durant. McCoist in the middle. Ferguson making the break for him. And here's Ali McCoist with the header again on the target, but an easy one for the goalkeeper Plotnikov.
Ali McCoist will be disappointed with that, Brian, but you saw how well he pulls away from defenders. He's very, very difficult to mark, and if you're asking me what his one strength is, obviously he's a great goal scorer, but his awareness round the box is terrific.
They had plastic covering on this pitch to protect it from a downfall last night. And the pitch has been a bit suspect for a lot of this season, but funnily enough, it looks as though it's playing absolutely perfect with a bit of moisture on it now, which will get the ball fizzing along. And Rangers now attacking once again through their left back, David Robertson. Into Houstra. McCall's made a break for him as well, but the Russians get it clear. The number 6, Bushmanov. Korsakov. Sergeyev up ahead of him, and Goff with him. And Goff gets the challenge in. Korsakov. Minko. The number 9, Antonovic. Faizulin there, trying to get a good 1-2, comes back to Faizulin again. And Rangers get it away with McCall, and nice little touch. Here's Durant at the centre of so much early on. His little touch now for Trevor Stephen. McCall. Fizzing this ball about with a lot of confidence at the moment of Rangers. Here's the Dutchman Hoistra. Getting it to Ferguson. Bushmanov. For CSKA. They've taken only 1 point this young Russian side from the 5 games they played in this European Champions League. Rangers beat them by 1-0. Ferguson was the scorer then in neutral Bochum. They played, because of the Russian winter, they played all their matches, their home matches in Germany. Minko knocking it in, and an offside against Sergeyev.
The pattern of the game already being set here, Brian. Rangers are going to have to commit themselves to going at them. They need the win. And the danger I see, the only danger I see, is that they're very relaxed, the Russians. And they'll just carry on with their game plan, just knocking it around, and when they break, they will break with terrific pace, and that is what they've got to be very aware of, the Rangers back four, because especially this Fauseline is a terrific young player.
Headed clear there, that time by Mashkarin. Minko. Bad news from Bruges is that Marseille have gone ahead after 2 minutes. CSKA, Antanovic, Izulin, but he couldn't get it through to Sergeyev. The Croatian Alen Boksic is the man who scored the goal for Marseille in the first couple of minutes of that game in Bruges. Allowed 5 substitutes, but the Russians have only brought 15 players with them for this. They've got troubles with injuries and some under-18 calls for a game in Portugal. Mamchur, Minko, Gushkin, Durant, Robertson, hit long towards McCoist. Here's Stephen. To the left foot, good shot, and again confidently taken there by the 20-year-old goalkeeper, Plotnikov. Free kick to Rangers. Foul on David Mikkelsen. And Sergeyev.
The first goal here tonight is going to be so vital, Brian, especially against the young side. Since so many times in the past they do capitulate under pressure.
Goff knocking it down. Bushmanov getting it away, but without great conviction. Bushmanov again, getting it clear, but Robertson this time for Rangers. And now John Brown has had a terrific season in this European Champions League. A real unsung hero at the back. Durant knocking it forward again to McCoist. Ferguson playing it in. No penalty. No foul, the game goes on, and Mamchur gets it clear for CSKA. Bushmanov. Antanovic. Minko. Bushmanov. Unbeaten in their European campaign this season. Izulin. And again having a wonderful season on the brink of their 5th successive Scottish League Championship. Looking for their first appearance in a European Cup final. They've won the Cup Winners' Cup back in 1972. Shot knocked Kostylev, clearing the crossbar by a good 2 or 3 feet. And free kick for Rangers already, or goal kick for Rangers already taken. And towards 8.5 minutes, 0-0 here in Ibrox between Rangers and the Russian side from Moscow CSKA. Held nicely for Durant, but he couldn't pick up Mikkelsen on the far side. Push Mikkelsen well forward for that. Minko. Long searching ball looking for Antanovic for the goal kick for Rangers.
I think patience is the order of the day here for Rangers. You were quite right, Brian. They're pushing McPherson very far forward early on, obviously looking to carve out openings. But they must remember they need to just win. There's nothing else they can do. The rest is in other people's hands. But 1-0 will be as good as 3-0. And it can come in the first minute, the 10th minute, or the 89th minute. And I don't want to see him go chasing it, because that could be really playing into the hands of the Russians.
Here's Stephen. Rangers just have to go one better than Marseille tonight away in Bruges. A foul there on McCall. If Marseille lose in Bruges, a draw here is enough for Rangers. If Marseille draw in Bruges, Rangers need to win. If Marseille win in Bruges, there's nothing Rangers can do about it. They've got the match is decided. That top position will be decided on how the results, in fact, between the two sides at the top, Marseille and Rangers. And of course, it was a 1-1 draw that Rangers got in Marseille. Marseille, for their part, got a 2-2 draw here, and with that away goal, that's deemed to be the better result. And so, if Marseille were to win and Rangers were to win, they'd finish level on points, but Marseille would go through to the final to play Milan next month in Munich. It's McCall now for Rangers. To McCoist. Durant. Finds McPherson with it. I wasn't quite sure that's what he intended, but McPherson just with a little nod down here to Richard Goff. He hits it long towards Ali McCoist. Here goes clearance. Brown knocking it back in again. Brown still there for that one, but a free kick given to CSKA. Possibly an offside against McCoist.
They've got their own unique style, Rangers, Brian. They really only play with one man up. I suppose a little bit like the Notts Forest team sometimes, and they try and get onto people with the ball and break very quickly from deep. And I hope the fans don't get too frustrated with them here, because that will go through to the players. It's a terrific atmosphere, and patience is a key word.
Robertson. Costa. Towards McCoist on the far side, but just wide. So close for number 50 for Ali McCoist.
He's not the biggest in the world, but he's pulled away again. He said to look for that, and he just gets the right side. I think he'll be disappointed he didn't hit the target, but it was oh so close.
He also needs one goal to beat the Rangers record for goals in Europe. At the moment, it's 12, held by Ralph Brand back in the 1960s. Person with a header.
I think for anybody who saw the game against Bruges, I think the groundsman deserves a massive pat on the back. The pitch is as good as it could be, and I'm sure the Rangers players appreciate that, because it's their sort of surface.
Stephen. Well, Houstra hoping to get underneath this. Oh, crosses a beautiful ball in, and McCoist again is there on the end of it, and again it's off the target.
It's amazing, Brian. It's a great ball from the Dutchman here, and again he'll be disappointed in at the target, but he's not the biggest. I mean, what is he, 5'10"? He's already pulled away and found himself two fantastic opportunities to score with a header, and yet both the people around him are over 6 foot, and that's why Ali McCoist gets so many goals.
Good jump by Goff. There's Ferguson. Looking to see whether McPherson was available, but in the end played the ball short there for McCall. A lovely ball by McCall. Here's Hoystra on it now. Again McCoist is in the middle, and once again Manchur gets it clear that time for CSKA. Bushmanov. given the Russians' way. Taken by Antonovich. Isolin. Sergeyev going for this one. Off's header. McCall's got time to trap it. Hit it long. McCoist is chasing. Hoist again. This time he's found Haustra. And the Rangers throw.
And it's in an area where the fullback, Robertson, he's made his mark at the penalty spot last time. I wonder if they'll look for another long one here.
A long one it is. Mikkelsen gets it clear, quarter of an hour gone, 0-0. Bushmanov. Chase is on, and he's onside, Antonovich. That was questionable. Right in front of the Danish linesman.
I think that's the problem, Brian. When it's that close to a linesman, there is absolutely no way he can keep up with the play and actually follow the line, and you can't blame them, but he looked definitely a yard offside.
Mikkelsen gets in again for CSKA. Done some good work already at the heart of the offence, the number 4, and he's only 22. Durant. Haustra on the far side now. Haustra again. Another cliche out of the bag. It really is one-way traffic at the moment. Goal kick to CSKA. Played just 5 matches of the new Russian season and haven't started that well. They've lost 2 of the 5, drawn 1 and lost the other 2, and won the other 2. 1-2, drawn 1, lost 2.
They're such a young side, Brian, that it's hard to believe they're going to be able to match the experience of Rangers, but they've got youth on the side and they're all in the shop window, because any of these players can be bought by any manager anywhere in Europe.
It's a handball, it's a shove in the crack, so it's a free kick to CSKA. Yeah, I was talking to one of the officials this morning. He said there have been offers from around Europe for just about every one of these young men in red shirts. Pushkin, Antonovich, Inko, Isolin's made a break down to that channel there. Brown couldn't cut him out. And Sergeyev took a bit of a bump there from McPherson as he was getting into a dangerous position at that near post. But it's a goal kick for Rangers.
Fauselin just showing us here why so many clubs are after him. I mean, he's only just 20, I think, and it's not his strongest foot, his right foot, but he still managed to get a cross in. And they're going to have to be watchful for 90 minutes for that sort of break. They're not going to be under constant pressure, Rangers, but they're going to have breaks like that to contend with right throughout the 90 minutes.
The jump by Ferguson wins the ball. Haustra couldn't carry it on, though. It's with Richard Goff now. The little touch towards Stuart McCall. Durant couldn't pick it up, but it's a throw for Rangers. Rangers, of course, on the verge of winning their championship again. Whatever happens here tonight, whatever happens in Europe this season, they qualify for the European Cup next season. On offside that time against Antonovich.
Just looking at the first 20 minutes, the one thing that springs to mind immediately for me is if Ali McCoist has caused problems already twice in the air from just ordinary crosses, which they were, what the mind boggles at what maybe Mark Haitley could have done had he not been suspended, because he is a giant when it comes to anything up in the air at the back there.
I think for things like corners and free kicks, they will certainly shove the likes of Goff and McPherson in. Mashkarin then, the 22-year-old. Back heel, Brown couldn't quite pick it up though. Pushman off there, and Tanovic flies it in. Paul back there to do the chasing. Stephen. Person. Faciest of players, but for a moment threatened to get away from Sergeyev there. Rangers throw. Ian Durant. Durant again. Ferguson. The ball. Outstra. Ferguson. And a goal kick.
One of the surprises so far for me, Brian, watching, I'm a big fan of Ian Durant. I think he's a terrific player. He's been often said as Scotland's answer to Gaza, hasn't he? He's just finding it very difficult at the moment to just find a position whereby he can get into this game. And I think that's the key for Rangers, because the ball you've just seen knocked in there, that's not going to catch anybody at this level off the guard. A little bit of invention, a little bit of magic, that's what it needs. And Durant's the one for me, and he's just got to find a way at this early stages to get into this game.
Here's Stephen. Here's Ferguson, knocking it towards Robertson, flying in with a header, but well wide. I mean, it's just great to see Durant on the field. As you well know, he had a very serious knee injury. It's Robertson's header again. Durant, and he had, I think it was 6 operations on it, the last of them in the United States, which sorted him out.
He's a terrific player. He's just finding it hard at the moment in there, just to find his niche, to get his game going. You know, he's doing a lot of running, he's working probably twice as hard as he normally would have to, but he's just not finding any space or any joy at the moment. But he will, because, as you say, he's got tremendous talent.
McPherson with the free kick for Rangers. Halfway through the first half now, still 0-0 here between Rangers and the Russian champions from Moscow. Pushmanov getting it very well there. Ferguson stabbing it wide here first for Trevor Stephen, and now for Dave McPherson. McPherson's crossing towards Goff. Just had it knocked off his head though by a defender, and it'll be a throw to Rangers. An opportunity, no doubt, for another long throw from David Robertson. And that's exactly what we're going to get. And McPherson's gone up for this one. Goff's in there too. And it was a fisted away by the goalkeeper, but only as far as Durant.
That's going to be a lethal weapon for Rangers tonight, because I can see him getting a lot of joy from it. Especially from this angle, it's a little bit further upfield. Look at that, I mean, this is nearly penalty spot. It's as long a throw as I've seen since the days of those old enough to remember Hutchinson of Chelsea. I'm certainly one of those. I think you're another one who can remember it.
Remember that well. Won a cup final for Chelsea back in 1970. It's Brown. Trevor Stephen. To Richard Goff. Stephen. This rippling run, but it's taken him away from the danger area. Antanovic gets it clear. Up to the number 8, Kostylev. Sergeyev on one side. Kostylev coming in quickly, still with Kostylev. And now Minko. And a poor finish.
All the dangers there for everyone to see. That is exactly what this Russian team are all about. They're going to sit back, soak up, and just when you think they're under the cosh, they're going to break quickly. And sometimes they're going to finish a bit better than he did there. But that's the pattern of the game. And Rangers, quite rightly, are not throwing too many men forward. And I think that's right at this stage.
As I say, they've only taken 1 point, the Russians, from their 5 European Champions League games. They've never been beaten by much. The odd goal, and except that is for the onslaught in Marseille when they were beaten 6-0. I saw that game, and it was a pretty dodgy penalty right at the start that set Marseille on their way. And they never really recovered from it, the young side. But other than that, they've performed really quite well without getting results. In the end, bringing Brown into the game, if Brown can keep it in play, yes. Kostylev going towards McCoy.
It's incredible, Brian, isn't it? That's 3 headers. That was a much more difficult chance, and to be fair to Ali McCoy, he made it out of nothing. But again, you wonder what Mark Gately might be doing from these. You've got to say that because of his tremendous height advantage. But McCoy he pulls away so well, I keep saying it, but that is his game. Just when defenders think they got him, he takes another 2 yards behind him and he comes in on the blind side.
And the statistic there, 49 goals in 51 games, really says it all. The smiling assassin, they call him, but so far tonight he hasn't had a great deal to smile about. Maybe he's saving it up. Kostylev completely missing his header. Stephen trying to retrieve the ball for Rangers. Succeeds then in finding Durant, knocks a good little header there for Mikkelsen, hits it forward to the Dutchman Houstra. Ferguson again, Stephen, goal kick. Certainly no frustration at the moment creeping into the Rangers game. They're knocking it about with a great deal of conviction and confidence, Kevin.
I think they're doing everything exactly right. I mean, as the game goes on and this goal eludes them, obviously the crowd will start to want a little bit more from them, obviously demanding that people push forward a little bit more than they are. But at the moment, they're spot on to do this because they can only win tonight and hope the rest works for them.
Here's Robertson. Brown. McCoy first to show and plays a good little ball now for Robertson. Deep cross by him, too deep if anything, yes. Durant getting on the end of it. And in comes Faizulin. His defence in a bit of trouble until Bushmanov gets a header in, but it'll be a Rangers throw. Let's see if they can produce a long one from that side of the field. Peter Houstra's across there. Finds Durant.
They're looking to cross balls in there every chance they get now because that is really where they've had the only success so far. They've not been able to play through the Russians or turn the back four, mainly because they're playing with a sweeper, which is always very difficult for us in Britain to contend with because we play with such flat back fours. But they're doing everything right and they're going to get something for one of these crosses, there's no doubt about that.
Bushmanov. Antanovic. Played in nicely there. Kostylev. Knocked back to Gorham. That was a pretty strong challenge just inside the penalty area there, but the referee had a good look at it, decided there was nothing wrong with it. Mikkelsen. What a flick and a good flick there by Ferguson. Stephen tries to get it back to him, but it's a Russian throw. Ferguson claiming there was a bit of elbowing going on there, but the referee didn't see anything. In fact, he's given a free kick. No, he hasn't. The Russians thought for a moment it was a free kick. Stephen. It's a sort of pitch that's inviting a good passing game, and at the moment that's what we're getting. Without quite the bite and the fire in the penalty areas. McPherson knocking it forward, up to McCoist. Here's Ian Durant. McPherson outside him. McCoist going through the middle. Houstra's pulled away to the right-hand side, out towards Ali McCoist here. Robertson keeping it in play. Here's McCall. Into Brown. Can you find Robertson? Corner given. Came off Antanovic, the number 9.
It's the first real time I've seen David Robertson, but he must be very pleased with the way he started. He's only 24. That's fairly young for anybody in our country. He's done everything right so far.
Curled in towards McPherson. Keeper took it into his own hands in every sense, with a little punch that just earned a bit of time for CSKA. Goff getting in. Durant getting in. A flick now for Ferguson. Back comes Brown. It'll go back to Andy Gorham. So half an hour gone, still Rangers 0, CSKA Moscow 0. Bad clearance by Gorham, straight to Sergeyev. Robertson thought about the pass back to Gorham. It decided in the end to hit it where it was safe.
Very unusual that for Andy Gorham. He's one of the most comfortable looking goalkeepers I've ever seen, especially with this new rule now. There's a lot of goalkeepers who've really found it difficult, and he's not one of them, but of course he can make mistakes like everybody else.
Free kick to CSKA. I say Gorham's had an absolutely fabulous season though. Here's Antanovic. Goff with a header clear. Antanovic. Mazulin knocked it back to him, but McCall now takes it up for Rangers. McCoist battling for the ball, but he's beaten to it by Mamchur. Here's Minko. Mazulin. Bushmanov. Playing it around well now. Sergeyev. Crossing it in. Oh my goodness, there was a great chance there. Somebody running onto that, and Rangers would have been a goal down without any question. Played it around beautifully there, the Russians, and they've not finished yet. It's Minko for them now. This is a real threat here now. Antanovic looking to keep it in play, does so, but it's behind for the goal kick. What a super move by the Russians there, though.
They're all so comfortable on the ball, and they work, they take the time, but this is the ball that really, it was too good in the end. He's pulled it back through his legs, I think, and the two lads are both caught going near post. But that's what they're all about. They're all waiting for a chance like that. They're going to be very patient too, and it's a fascinating game, although there's not been much goal-mouth action at the moment.
Up to McCoist. Tries to get Robertson going. Antanovic. And they played well enough, the Russians, and they defended well enough to take just that little bit of sting out of the crowd as well. From Brown. Stephen. And here's this man, Mashkarin again. Been really impressed by him. He's like a free man at the back. Here he is again. Terry puts me in mind of a very young Alan Hansen, you know. Moves around with that sort of grace, and he's totally unruffled by anything that's thrown at him.
He's one of those freaks, Brian. I don't mean it in a nasty sense. The number 7 as well, is it Minto? Yeah. Minko. He's similar in that they're well over 6 foot, maybe 6'2" or 3. And they both have silky skills on the ball, which they must work a little bit harder on them, because, yeah, he's a very much an Alan Hansen lookalike. Doesn't get as far forward as he does, but, I mean, at 22, he'll be one that probably a lot of people around the world are looking at and saying, along with this man here, Fauselin, saying, yeah, you know, I bet they wouldn't cost us as much as players in our own country. And you've got to look at that. You've got to look at the financial side of it. And,
I saw him at training last night, and I saw him in Marseille. He looks like something out of a Russian youth 11 or Russian schoolboy 11. He's got the face of a 15-year-old, this fella.
That's right. I suppose the danger of signing someone like that, Brian, would be how would he settle down? You know, it'd be a massive move for him, and they would be the things that might put you off spending maybe £1 million or whatever they want for him.
Gorham gets it clear. Brown hitting it forward. Peter Hastra. And a corner.
You really do feel, Brian, that if they're going to break through in any area, it's going to be from either a long throw from Robertson or a set piece, a corner or a free kick.
35 minutes gone. Brown's in there, McPherson's in there, Goff's in there. It's McPherson with a header. Brown trying to get on the end of it. Very positive keeper, this 20-year-old Plotnikov, and he started the season as third choice behind Harin, who has now joined Chelsea, and Gutierrez, who has been playing in this European Champions League but conceded 6 against Marseille. So with a third choice, he's not doing badly, is he? Again, they're not doing badly well. Look at that. Oh, an offside flag, and that was a real saviour there for Rangers.
There's almost too many of them in there for it. I don't know how it broke down, but yeah, he's just nipped it in front, and oh, he's just coming out just a little bit slowly. Never expected him to give it away, but I think it was McPherson just trying to roll the ball down the line. He got cut off, but they've already given Rangers enough warning to say, hey, you know, we're here and we mean to make an impression on the game.
Durant now getting in behind. Again, the keeper spotted it quickly.
He only looks about 15 as well. I wonder what tablets are on over there. I must try some.
And he's very assured, this 20-year-old. Goff underneath this one, but Sergeyev got the better of him. Kostylev. Korsakov's up alongside him. Beaten by Richard Goff. Stephen. Rangers throw. Or rather, CSKA throw.
They're having the best spell of the game so far, and they're looking to open Rangers up. They've not come here just to be, you know, one of a number. They're looking to be counted here.
Sergeyev, Minko. In again there, Sakov. Sergeyev trying to finish it off. Brown's in there too. Gorham had to take emergency action there with the clearance. Up to Ali McCoist. Bushman off. Now for number 5, Malyakov. Antonovic chasing. Robertson hacking it away across the face of his own penalty area up towards big David McPherson. Stephen got a little header in there for Rangers as well. It's up with Durant. They might be happy to see CSKA pushing a few men forward, but might in turn produce a bit more space for forwards for Rangers at the other end. Certainly they look accomplished and comfortable on the ball at the moment. Still 0-0. A throw then to Rangers. David McPherson will take it. With it. Durant trying to play it in. He came off the defender for the corner for Rangers. But There was a flag up for an offside. So free kick for the Russians.
I think for anybody who has never been to Ibrox Stadium, Brian, you're looking at what the Taylor report is all about. You know, it's a terrific stadium, the best in the country, along with possibly Man United and one other. And it's really a great theatre for playing football in. And Rangers have done them proud this year. I mean, not many of us will forget the game against Leeds, when, you know, we all thought, well, Leeds had done the hard work up here, but they turned it round. They've got a lot of character in this side, and they're going to need all of that tonight against these Russians.
Here's Goff. Up to Mikkelsen. Castro turned his man beautifully there on that right-hand side. Well, it's either a corner or a free kick. It's something Rangers' way as Peter Houstra goes down under that challenge.
Peter Houstra's always looking to get to the dead ball line. Of course, when crosses come in from there, they're always so much better. But it's not his strongest side, the right side. And I don't think he ever would have delivered a good cross there.
Well, let's see if a good cross can be delivered now for the likes of Macpherson in there, Brown in there, Goff's in there, jockeying for position. Just a little too high for Richard Goff. In goes Faizulian before the ball ran to Durant. Less than 5 minutes of the first half remaining. Still Rangers 0, CSKA Moscow 0. Robertson with another of those long throws of his towards Richard Goff. Stephen knocking it back for Macpherson. Howls of disappointment there from the Ibrox crowd.
I think, to be fair to Macpherson, he can play right back, but he's much more comfortable and more used to playing in the central role. And you think by moving players 10-15 yards, it shouldn't make that much difference. But of course, he's a big fella, not really one for charging forward. And he'll be looking for better crosses than that, though. He's got much more ability than that.
Person. Request. Didn't control that at all well. Brown, the backward header, knew just what he was doing, found Goff with it. Hoist battling for the ball, didn't get there though. Koff has looked after him very well indeed. Number 8 is Karsakov. Faizulian trying to get it back. Minko, Bushmanov, Antanovic. Minko again, stopped that time by Stephen. Here's Stuart McCall. And that came off Bushmanov for the throw to Rangers. Balls from McCall again. This time back for Robertson. Houstra on this side of the field this time. Goal kick. I told you before how high the stakes are in these big European games. Rangers said to be something like £4 million better off for their exploits in Europe this season. And if they got to that European final, they say that could add another £1 million to that figure. See why you dare never say to top managers like Kevin and players, it's only a game, you know, because my goodness, these days it's a lot more than that. There's Macpherson. Durant, this is a better looking break. No, he deserted him there, and Trevor Stevens' shooting ability deserted him there as well. Andy Gorham. Been one or two little scares certainly in that Rangers penalty area, but I don't think Gorham has had a direct shot to save in this half, has he?
No, there's been little scares, but nothing. He's not had to really dive anywhere to save anything, but he's had to be alert. And the first goal is the key to this game. If Rangers get it, then this young side will be a much easier proposition to break down after that. But if they get it, they'll grow. They're only 22 average age, 23, but they'll be veterans if they get a goal. So they've got to watch out and be on their guard.
Says a lot for Goram's form this season that the Scottish Football Writers named him their Player of the Year, in spite of the fact that Ali McCoist at the other end has got through some 49 goals this season. It's testimony of the sort of season that Goram has had. Brown up towards McCoist again. There's his header, but that's a simple one for Ropnikov.
He's had to plough a pretty long furrow up there, and I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the game at some stage they introduce maybe McSwegan, who can play up there, because they're trying to break on, but of course if he can't get hold of it and they haven't got possession up there, then the others can't run on, and Durant, and I think certainly Stephen, they've not been able to get with him, and I think he needs a little bit more help up there.
Goram gets it clear. Minto's header. Then won by the number 5, Malyukov. Koff hitting it forward. Durant. McPherson. Ferguson. McCall. And McCoist shot charge down. Robertson. A flurry right on half-time by Rangers, perhaps. Ferguson again. Made a minute of time added on already. Durant, the last seconds of the first half then. Castra into Durant again. Couldn't collect it. Half-time whistle. Frustrating first half for Rangers, who've done so much of the attacking, but a lot of credit too to this young Russian defence, who've shown great composure on the ball and great fortitude in the way they've handled the likes of Ali McCoist, who really has had the best of Rangers' chances. The story then at Ibrox Park is at half-time, it's Rangers 0.